He wasn't born special, he became unstoppable.
Hello everyone, welcome to What If Quirkless Deku became the first Quirkless #1 hero of World movie. Before we start, please go support Alkumo4831 for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Deku is a male. We are not all the same. We can see a small 4-year-old boy running as if there were no tomorrow while being closely followed by his father. A man over 30 years old, with long jet black hair that fell slightly below his shoulders and a somewhat thin build. Father and son were heading home, where a very beautiful woman was waiting for them as it was lunchtime. Then they arrive at her home, a spacious but not excessively large house, and the beautiful lady welcomes them. Inko, I'm so glad you're here. Tell me, did you have fun together? Izuku, yes mom, dad and I had a lot of fun, right dad? Hisashi, that's right champ. Well Inko, how about we go inside and eat? He asked his beloved with a big smile. Inko, okay, but first clean your hands. Izuku/Hisashi, good. After that they began to eat and chat happily like the happy family they were. Inko, hey Hisashi, remember that in a few days we're taking Izuku to get his quirk checked out. Hisashi, of course, thanks for reminding me. Izuku, mom, dad, I'm done eating, can I go to my room? Hisashi/Inko, of course son, they said with a kind smile. Izuku quickly went to his room. Inko, okay, I'm going to wash the dishes. Hisashi, I'll help you darling. Giving her a kiss and standing by her side to help her. Inko happily returning the kiss, thank you sweetheart. Hisashi, all for my little Inko. Inko, hey, laughing at her husband's joke. Hisashi calming down, okay, let's begin. Inko, good. About half an hour later, a wild Izuku appeared. Izuku, dad, Hisashi, yes Izu. Izuku, can you play the video for me? Hisashi, okay little one, I'll be right back sweetheart. Inko, yes. Hisashi and Izuku were heading towards the younger boy's room, while the adult was thinking. Hisashi, I don't understand what Izuku sees in that dope-faced Almight. I know he's the symbol of peace, but for some reason I feel like he's hypocritical, irresponsible, and kind of stupid. The good thing is that Izuku isn't just a fan of that guy. What? Then they arrive at the boys' room, which was decorated with action figures, posters, and a comforter with a superhero theme of all kinds. Izuku settling into his chair. Hisashi, okay, searching for the video, there it is son. You know, this is kind of scary. You're pretty brave, Izu. I may not have that much respect for All Might, but I'll do anything for my little sunshine. Izuku, thank you so much, Dad, hugging him and then pressing play on the video. Insert All Might video. Izuku, very excited, All Might is amazing. When I get my quirk, I'm going to be a hero like him. What he didn't know was that his parents were listening to what he was saying and were worried. Hisashi/Inko turned to look at each other, oh son, how can we tell you? What? After that they went inside, and since it was getting late, they dressed the little boy in his pajamas and covered him with his Endeavor blanket so he wouldn't be cold at night, and then they went to sleep. A few days later. It was finally time to go to the doctor. Hisashi was at work, so Inko went with the cinnamon roll. They waited until it was their turn, and when it was, they went in. They were standing before a man with a robust build showing signs of baldness, only having hair on his upper lip, a large mustache and somewhat strange but practical-looking glasses. That was the doctor whom, due to my memory problems, we'll simply call Dr. Eggman. Eggman, I might ask, what brings you? Inko, of course we came because my son hasn't awakened his gift, so I wanted to come and check that out. Eggman, all right kid, you could follow me, it won't be long. Izuku, okay. A few minutes later, the doctor already had the results. Eggman, well ma'am, here are the results. Inko, okay, could you tell me? A little scared that what she thought was real. Eggman, all right, I'll be blunt kids, you should surrender. Izuku, he was shocked by what the glowing dome had said. Inko, what do you mean Dr. Eggman? That his son failed to develop a quirk. Inko, but what's the reason? Eggman, I'm going to ask you a question, what is your husband's quirk and yours? Inko. Oh yes, my quirk is mild telekinesis. I can make things float and attract or repel them, and my husband's is fire breath. He can expel something similar to methane gas from his lungs and use his uvula as a lighter to create a reaction similar to a flamethrower. Eggman. Well, quirks are still somewhat strange even after more than 100 years of existence, so there are several possibilities. Inko, what do you mean Dr. Eggman? There's a possibility that your son's body has undergone changes in appearance like an animal's. He may have inherited a quirk from one of his parents or a fusion of them. Perhaps he'll develop a different quirk than his parents, or in the case of your son, he might not develop one at all. Inko, what does all this have to do with my son's situation? Eggman, did you have any problems during your son's pregnancy? Inko, yes, in fact my son was born 2 months premature and that's it. Eggman, that answers that his son didn't fully develop. The doctor looked at the boy's face who wasn't paying attention to anything as he was still in shock. He sighed and said something to the boy. Eggman, hey kid, don't lose all hope, there's still a chance you have a quirk. Izuku, really, with little hope but after all he still had some. Eggman, yes, there's a chance you can develop. The bad thing is that we don't know how long it might take. A week, 2 months, 10 years or maybe never, but hey, there's still a chance. Izuku, thank you very much, sir. Inko, thank you for seeing us, doctor. Eggman, yes, that's fine. And after that they would go back home, although the mother was quite worried. Well, she was worried that her little baby wouldn't be able to have a quirk. 25% of the population doesn't have a quirk. Doesn't sound so bad, right? Well, it is if you consider that not having a quirk is like being incomplete, so you're left with 2 options. Adults and some young people treat you like you're the weakest thing in the world, like you're made of glass that could break with a simple touch. And young people and quite a few adults see you as a freak for being someone deformed who is incomplete, so they make fun of you. And it gets even worse when only 10% of those people are young people and children, while 15% are fully grown adults and elderly people from previous generations. But that's not all, because not many people manage to obtain their quirk late in life. These people would be the 5% that are missing to make up the 30% of quirkless people. Therefore, there is much to worry about. Then they arrived home. Izuku went to his room, while Inko went to prepare dinner and wait for Hisashi. Speaking of him, he was already arriving home. To say he was worried was an understatement, but he tried to hide it. Then he got home and went looking for Inko. And yes, her worst fear came true, that her son hadn't been born with his quirk. She was going to talk to Inko to see what they could do, but then she started thinking about how devastated her little one must be. So he went to where his Izuku was, but he wasn't the only one since Inko also wanted to go with him. And what they saw devastated them. Her son was watching the peace symbol video, and when he heard them arrive, he turned his chair around and saw them. Her cheeks were very wet with tears. Izuku, Mom, Dad, Almight is amazing. He can save people with a smile and without fear. Hisashi/Inko, listening to what her son was saying on the verge of tears. Izuku, do you think I can be a hero like him? He said in a voice that showed great sadness. Hisashi/Inko, they couldn't hold it in any longer and started crying, hugging their son. Inko I was interrupted. Hisashi, of course, Yai's son, hugging him tighter and sobbing. They were already quite affected, so Izuku fell asleep. They left him in his bed and went out. What does the future hold for this family? Learning from me. After that, Inko and Hisashi left the younger boy's room. Inko, Hisashi, what are we going to do? Hisashi, I don't know. Inko, this is my fault, I didn't take good care of myself. Hisashi, what? Inko, if Izuku had been responsible, he could have developed a quirk. Hisashi, Inko, I want you to stop talking nonsense, nobody is to blame. Inko, but... Hisashi, but nothing, hugging her and wiping away her tears. Inko, but then what are we going to do? Hisashi, you stay calm, Inko, I'll take care of it. Inko, but I feel I must do something, I want to help you. Hisashi, it would help me a lot to know that you're calm. Inko, but... Hisashi, giving her a kiss on the forehead, don't worry, I'll take care of it, you rest. Inko, happy to have someone as good as Hisashi, but at the same time worried about him and her son. Inko, somewhat reluctantly obeying her husband, went to sleep. Hisashi, okay, I need to calm down so I can look for something. Starts breathing more calmly. Hisashi, now calm, okay, now I should go to the computer, maybe I'll find something there. Once at the computer, he began to look for ways to help his son achieve his dream. Hisashi, well, the most logical thing I should do is find a way to strengthen his body. Searching for training sessions, I'm not a fool, I'm not going to put my son through hellish workouts, only an idiot thinks that can work. After doing some research, he discovered perfect workouts for his son, easy to do but actually helpful. Hisashi, okay, now the next thing you should do is look for fighting styles. Izuku won't always be able to defend himself with brute force alone. That's where his search began. He thought it best for him to learn karate and boxing, maybe kung fu too. Choosing which styles to teach Izuku was easy. The hard part would be figuring out how to get him to learn them. He spent hours searching for everything from the basics to the difficult aspects of those fighting styles. It was 3 in the morning and he already had everything he needed. He was heading to his bed, he was almost dead tired, so much so that as soon as he got to his bed, he threw himself down to sleep. Inko woke up when she felt Hisashi land, so she covered him with the sheets and went back to sleep. 9 a.m. Izuku had woken up and was waiting for his parents to wake up so they could have breakfast together. When their parents woke up, they started having breakfast. Although the atmosphere was different, for Inko and Izuku it was uncomfortable. For Hisashi it was quiet, not very comfortable, but it wasn't bad. Hisashi, hey, Izuku calmly calls his attention. Izuku, yai's dad, he answered nervously. Hisashi, I want you to come with me to the patio after we finish eating, giving her a somewhat tired smile from staying up late last night. Izuku, good. Inko just watched what was happening without any intention of getting involved. After breakfast, the three of them went to the patio. Hisashi, well, since we're here, I'm going to show you something, trying to sound as happy as possible despite being tired. Hisashi Tada showing him a training guide. Izuku, what is that? Hisashi, this son is an exercise guide so you can become a hero. Izuku, are really? Shedding a few tears. Hisashi, of course, I'll help you with everything you need. Izuku, thank you so much, Dad, running to hug his father with a mix of positive emotions and showing a big smile. Hisashi, you're welcome, my little bonsai, accepting the hug happily. Inko, I'll help you too, son, joining the hug. Izuku, are really, turning to look at her. Inko, yes, my little fluffball, wiping away her tears. Izuku, I love you all very much. Hisashi / Inko, we love you, son. Hisashi, alright son, get ready because tomorrow we'll start our training. Izuku, yes, and the following Sunday the father and son began training to improve. The two of them started this together, progressing step by step, while Inko helped them with eating and also did some exercises to stay fit and healthy. They started with basic things, lifting weights of a moderate weight and doing mini boxing sessions. Once they knew enough, they increased the difficulty by doing more weightlifting exercises. Agility, speed, and endurance were the skills they were improving in addition to strength. They learned karate and kung fu, thereby improving their senses. They were getting stronger and stronger, but that wasn't all, because at the age of 6, the boy acquired a hobby that consisted of analyzing. She would analyze anything that interested her: quirks, movements, weaknesses, and strengths, even how to improve them. The boy had a rather brilliant mind. He could make plans, tactics, and learn things almost instantly, among other things. He was an amazing person, but there was a flaw: he would overthink things so much that he would mutter them. But why am I telling you all this? Because when people realized their lack of power, there were two reactions. The teachers were already assuming the boy was weak. They didn't mean it in a bad way, but they still hoped it was one of those cases where quirks appear late. Meanwhile, his classmates, as if they were Neanderthals, began to harass and mock him for his disability. Speaking of these, time skip. Now our boy is an 11-year-old. His hair was longer down to his neck. I was in a biology class where they were about to discuss a very interesting topic. Professor, okay, does anyone here know where quirks come from? Students, they didn't say anything. Izuku was too busy writing something of interest. Professor, well, quirks are genetic mutations that we develop in the womb so that when we are 4 years old they can appear naturally. Student, hey professor, what about quirks that give someone traits like animal characteristics, for example? Professor, well, that's because having a transformation quirk, or what's more commonly known as a mutation quirk, they tend to modify the embryo's DNA in more detail so that it can be born with that gift. Professor, although there will be times when the quirk is not mutational, but can still manifest ahead of time. Professor, there may also be a possibility that the child will not be born with a gift related to their parents, but rather a different one. There is also a somewhat low probability that the person will develop their special ability late in life. Student, see Midoriya, there's still a chance you won't be useless your whole life. Izuku doesn't pay the slightest attention because he's writing all that information down in his notebook. Student, hey, don't ignore me, idiot. Teacher, young Takoriyami, I ask that you stop bothering your classmate or I will send you to the principal's office. Student, sighs, yes, teacher, in a bad mood. Professor, okay, do you have any questions? Student 2, yes, in fact, is there any reason why this quirk thing might happen? Professor, yes, thanks to years of research it was discovered that there is something called plus alpha, which is what makes it possible to develop a quirk, and as I said, it is obtained by developing in the mother's womb. Professor, there are different types of quirks, which are emitters. These are the ones that allow you to alter matter or release substances. These need to be consciously activated and have different ranges of reach. Transformers. These could be considered a mix of mutations and emitters since they need to be consciously activated to alter the user's body, giving them more physical abilities and sometimes even other powers. And the mutants, I already explained this, they are quirks that affect the body to give you abilities depending on how your body is. Student 2, but how can doctors tell if someone has a quirk or not? Professor, well, technology has advanced enough to detect plus alpha levels. If the levels are very low or there is simply no plus alpha, it's because you don't have a quirk. But if you have medium or high levels of plus alpha, it means you have a quirk. Professor, it's like in video games, an experience bar that automatically increases. You can't alter that. It increases the most when you're in the womb, and once you're born, the bar just keeps growing until you level up and get your quirk. Professor, after leveling up, you can tweak your quirk a little, but you can practice and strengthen it. However, it will take quite a while to increase your level up experience again and evolve your quirk. That said, you can only level up twice, once to obtain your quirk and once to evolve it. Professor, but if you don't develop properly in the womb, you won't gain experience, and most likely you won't get a quirk or you'll get your quirk very late. Professor, obviously there are quirks that can affect things like disabling the option to activate your gift. The bell rings, signaling the end of class. Teacher, oh wow, class is over, I have to go, see you later, young people. That was an interesting and educational day. Weeks later. Professor, have you ever wondered if the body has limits? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. Professor, the body before quirks was a body with too many limitations, but there were people who managed to go beyond those limits, to the point that they are now able to achieve what all the years of evolution in our bodies have allowed. Professor, over 100 years ago, there was someone who could run 45 kilometers per hour without needing a quirk, a speed that we could reach with enough training, even surpass if we tried, but which was almost impossible to match back then. Around that time, there was also someone who was able to lift a weight of 500 kilos, but after doing so, he fainted and started bleeding from his nose due to the pressure his body endured. Now, with enough training and without needing our special abilities, we could lift perhaps even more than that. It was also during that time that a person managed to achieve a vertical jump of 170 meters, something that with the right exercises we could achieve even with ease. And so the professor began to explain how displays of physical skill that were once the most amazing thing were now nothing more than something that could be achieved by having a highly athletic body. The bad thing is that many people stopped doing those kinds of things to become dependent on quirks, like some heroes. After that, rather useful information was noted down by Izuku. I used that information to further improve his exercises and prepare for the tough training sessions he would have with his father. Hello beautiful people, I hope you enjoyed this chapter, because I loved it. I'm fascinated by the amazing things that people have been able to achieve physically. Information, in the future, Midoriya will have the ability to lift 1 ton, which is 1,000 kilograms. It will be able to run almost like a cheetah, and just so you know, a cheetah can run up to 80 kilometers per hour. He will have great flexibility, therefore he will have a light body and will be able to jump too. 50 meters, therefore he will be quite pro at parkour. And he'll also have a pretty quick reaction time, enough to barely dodge a bullet. Why am I posting this? To explain how heroes like Eraserhead, despite having a quirk useless for attacking, possess high strength and speed. And as I already mentioned, if you're a high-performance athlete, you could acquire those abilities. Moreover, with over 100 years of evolution, if quirks appeared, bodies must have improved. I will not give up. This happens during Izuku's 5-year-old years. We could see a little boy walking through a park. The little boy had asked to be able to go to that place that was close to his house. He was walking peacefully when he heard something. "Boy, leave me alone, I haven't done anything to you," exclaimed crying. "Bakugo, what do you mean you didn't do anything to me? You pushed me. Because of you I scraped my elbows and knees," he yelled angrily, small sparks flying from his palms. "Child, it was an accident. Bakugo, I don't care, you'll pay for this," giving his friends an order to beat him up. "Izuku, stop, don't do it, Kachin, it was an accident, forgive him. Bakugo, don't interfere, Deku, I won't forgive him." Izuku, starting to get scared, "Don't do it, Kakin, if you do I won't forgive you," scared but getting into position. "Bakugo, you think you can play the hero, huh, Deku? Well, let's see how good a hero you really are." Launches into battle. And so Izuku, with his very limited fighting skills, tried to protect the child, tried to hit Bakugo, but the winged child protected him with one wing and swiped at him with the other. Izuku barely managed to protect himself, but he didn't realize that the other boy was behind him, trying to grab him. "Dedudo, look Katsuki, I caught him." Izuku, let me go, trying to break free. "Bakugo, this is what happens to those who think they're something they're not, Deku," he said, then launched an explosion and landed a few punches. After a while, the boy Deku tried to protect was beaten up, and Deku himself had minor burns and bruises. "Katsuki, alright, that'll do. Let's go, guys, it's not worth staying here any longer." And they left, leaving Izuku lying there. "Boy, what did you think you were doing?" "Izuku, I just wanted to help you," whispers but loud enough to be heard. "Boy, well, don't even try it, you'll only make things worse," he yelled and started running. "Izuku, I'm sorry." He stayed like that for a few more minutes before finally getting up and going home sad. "Izuku, I'm here," disheartened. Inko, that's great son, what happened to you? Worried about her baby's condition. Izuku I Roman 2 starts to cry. Inko, come here little one, hugging the little one there, calm down, tell me what happened, she said sweetly and calmly. Izuku, I tried to help someone but I only made things worse. All I managed to do was get hurt and let them beat up the person I wanted to protect. Crying. Inko, calm down son, you shouldn't feel like this. Izuku, why not? Inko, because the important thing is that you tried to help, what counts is trying. Izuku, but. Inko, don't worry, come let me heal these wounds. Izuku, yes. After the wounds have healed a little. Inko, oh yes son, your dad is waiting for you in the yard. Izuku, okay. Hisashi, Izuku, what happened to you? Alarmed by the bandage on the boy's forehead. Izuku, I tried to protect someone but I failed. Very sad. Hisashi, why are you like this, champ? Lifting his chin. Izuku, what if what they're saying is true, that I'm just a weakling? Hisashi, you're not weak, son. What does it matter if you didn't win? You can't always win. Sometimes losing is a way to learn, you just have to try harder. Izuku, seriously. Hisashi, yes. It's okay to make mistakes, it's part of growing up and you never stop growing, so don't be afraid to fail, you can always try again. Izuku, yes, getting his spirits up again. Hisashi, how about we continue your training after we eat? Izuku, very good dad. Hisashi, that's the spirit. Come on, your mom must be waiting for us. And with that knowledge, Izuku put even more effort into his training. Whenever someone was in trouble, he would intervene. I often lost and very rarely did I manage to defeat someone, but did that sadden him? On the contrary, it showed him that his efforts were bearing fruit. Defeat after defeat, he learned more and gained more experience in combat. The downside was that sometimes he got into dangerous situations, where his only way to win was by saving the person in trouble and running as fast as he could to where the heroes were. Almost always, after those confrontations, he would return with bruises and scrapes, and in rare cases with minor burns. And so the years passed, he continued to make progress, and with it the victories in helping others became more numerous. But he didn't just defend people from attackers, he also helped those who had problems with bullying and things like that by giving them talks. He even went so far as to save people from suicide. Obviously, he couldn't save everyone, but helping those he did make him happy because he could see them smile. He even learned a few jokes to make them smile more easily. And by training alongside his father in fighting styles, he was already making progress. But even with those advances, he couldn't put up a fight against Bakugo. His quirk made him quite difficult to defeat. But Izuku would never give up. With so many battles, he achieved some things, gaining experience and developing greater stamina. At 13 years old, he could already give Bakugo a fight and thus put up a fight in street battles. He had experience and gained enough confidence to be able to talk normally with someone, but he still had doubts, but oh well. He would never give up. Not everything is as we want it to be. Part 1. 3 years later. We can see a 14-year-old boy happily running down the street until he reached an area where a villain attack was taking place. It all happened like this. There were 3 heroes there. One was blocking the way so that civilians wouldn't pass and suffer risks with his quirk because it was backdraft, but a beam thrown by the villain was about to fall on some girls. But then the hero Death Arms appears, catching the beam and saving the. And a hero approached the villains. Kamui Woods, hey, making a scene of this magnitude during rush hour, you're the epitome of evil. Izuku, oh, it's Kamui Woods, the star rookie. Very excited to see him perform in person. Old man, you seem excited about this, huh, kid? Are you a fanatic? Izuku, something like that, a little embarrassed by that. Kamui, I have no other options, I'll make my best move. Izuku, hey, that's awesome, he'll do the. Kamui/Izuku lacquered chains prison. But in that, MT Lady Canyon Cannon, Kamui/Izuku Nanny. MT Lady, hello everyone, I'm Mount Lady and I'll save your rear ends. Lifting her rear and walking past the paparazzi. Kamui, she's taking all the credit, sad. Izuku, is she a new hero? Taking out his notebook and starting to whisper so loudly you couldn't even tell if he was saying anything or not. Izuku, his quirk is very interesting. Will he be able to change his size at will, or can he only grow to that height? Will his strength increase? That quirk must be complicated. If he can't manipulate how much he can grow, he won't be able to fit through narrow places. Will he have some technique for that? And so he began to think about many other things based on that, and he wrote them down. Old man, not being able to hear much of what he whispers, hey, are you taking notes? You want to be a hero, right? Well, let me tell you, kid, you'll make it. Encouraging the boy. Izuku, yes, thank you very much. Oh no, it's very late, I must go. Have a good day, sir. Little old man, same as a little boy. Already in class. Teacher, well guys, as you know, you're in your final year of high school, so here are some brochures that might help you. Showing the brochures. Teacher, but you throwing the pamphlets you want to be heroes, right? After saying that, almost all the students began to celebrate by activating their quirks, but one said something arrogant but true. Katsuki, professor, don't lump me in with the useless ones with all these extras. Students, hey Bakugo, that's offensive. Shut up Bakugo, you shouldn't underestimate us. Bakugo, oh you should shut up like the extras you are. Teacher, oh Bakugo, you're planning to go to UA, right? Bakugo, that's right, I'll be the only one from this awful school to get into that school and become the #1 hero, the most famous. He exclaimed, standing on his chair. Teacher, oh yes, Midoriya, you're also thinking of getting into UA. Happy that another of his students wants to reach the top, though also worried. Then everyone leaves and turns to look at their green-haired companion. Izuku, not again, feeling uncomfortable. Some students said respectfully to their classmate, hey Midoriya, you shouldn't risk it. If Midoriya is thinking about something else, it's very dangerous. They had been helped by the freckled boy and had also seen how he had helped many people. Other classmates, what could a quirkless person like you possibly do as a hero? All you do is be a burden, a useless person like you. A hero, yeah right, they didn't know their classmates' actions and mistakenly thought he was weak. What none of his classmates knew was that Izuku was quite strong and experienced, as he had already faced very aggressive people who wanted to harm him or innocent people. He already had the necessary physical capabilities. Izuku has already been in street fights where losing was a sign of danger, and he could also give Bakugo a run for his money. Speaking of him, I was in shock, but when I regained consciousness. Bakugo, damn Deku. How dare you think you could be in the same place as me? You're worse than all these extras. You're just a damn pebble in the road. You're insignificant. He yelled furiously, because in his head he thought Deku was just a useless kid who thought he was on his level, that arrogant. Izuku, Katsuki-san, it's not that, I'm not trying to surpass you, he said. Agitated by how upset he was becoming, it's just that. It's been my dream since I was little, I've always been working hard, if I don't try I won't know if I can achieve it, he said calmly but still uneasy about how his classmate was. Bakugo, what if you don't try? You think this is a game? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, you'll never amount to anything in your damn useless life. Teacher, okay, that's enough. Young Bakugo, at the end of class I want you to accompany me to the principal's office. I'll be speaking with you very seriously, he said in a serious and stern manner as the teacher would not tolerate another taunt from his student, and anyone who hears you mocking or insulting your classmates will be punished. Teacher, did they understand? Students, we understood, teacher some reluctantly. Bakugo Tusk understood, annoyed and irritated son. After that, classes continued as normal until they ended. Bakugo, hey Deku, we're not finished yet, he said, grabbing Izuku's shoulder and trying to make him feel pain. Izuku, Katsuki-san, what do you need? Feeling no pain, just a little discomfort. Bakugo, I'm a total perfectionist, you know, so I want my hero story to be good. Therefore, I want to be the only one in this school of losers who can go to UA. What I'm trying to say is I'm asking you not to apply to UA. He's more demanding than asking. Izuku, I'm sorry Katsuki-san, but I'm not going to listen to you. Bakugo, look, you damn nerd, I'm just warning you that if you try to get into UA, activating his quirk in his shoulder to supposedly cause him more pain. Izuku, feeling a lot of discomfort in his shoulder, and I repeat, I will not do what you order me to do. Useless one, hey, what's that, Bakugo? Useless two, yes, that's it. Bakugo, taking the notebook guide to becoming a hero number 13. Useless two, seriously Midoriya, can't you understand that you won't achieve anything? Useless one, he won't do it. He's a fool who still thinks in fantasy and can't see reality. Bakugo, exploding the notebook, just stay out of my way, you damn useless idiot, pushing him back and looking at him wait, stopping his stride. Bakugo, there is a way you can be a hero. Useless one too, seriously. Bakugo, yeah, you just have to jump off a building and really wish that in another life you have a quirk and stop being a nuisance to the world, he said mockingly before finally leaving. Useless one too, laughing loudly, very good Bakugo. Izuku, just watching those three leave while rubbing his shoulder, damn it Bakugo, now I have to find my notebook. Yeah, he didn't give the slightest importance to what that ash-blonde idiot said. After that, the boy found his notebook and left. Izuku, damn it, I still can't get past what happened this morning. Speaking of which, I might be able to find out more about it in the news. Izuku, thinking about what Bakugo said, what if he was right? Quirks are really rejected, maybe. Izuku, reconsidering, wait, what nonsense am I saying? I'm Izuku Midoriya. I've prepared a lot, I shouldn't think pessimistically. I know I'll succeed, plus I have the best parents supporting me. Izuku, so hold your head high, Izuku. You've proven your abilities by fighting dangerous people, emerging victorious and helping many others. Prove your worth. He raised his fist and began to laugh excitedly, crossing a bridge. That's it. Mud villain, oh look at this, a medium-sized body, perfect for hiding from that damn hero. Izuku, huh? V of Mud, thank you so much, kid, you're my hero. I didn't know he'd be in this city, but with you I can save myself. Now stay still, it'll only hurt for 12 seconds. Izuku dodging the living mud, what the hell, dodging the mud again. V for Mud, come on, stop moving and cooperate, trying again in vain to catch the boy. Izuku, I wouldn't do that in a million years, dodging the creature again. V of Mud, damn it, just let yourself be captured already, launching an attack. Izuku dodging again, damn, I'm so far away. The best thing to do is distract this guy and take the opportunity to run to where there are people and the heroes can help me. I just need one chance. He thought while dodging more attacks. V of Mud, you know what, I'm tired, come here. Launching himself directly towards where the boy with curly hair was. Izuku barely dodging it, this is my chance, running at top speed. What I didn't know was that I accidentally stepped on a piece of mud, losing a little speed. V for Mud, noticing the detail, where do you think you're going, finally managing to catch him. Izuku, damn it, I have to do something, this is mud not quicksand, maybe if I use enough force I can free myself, waiting for the perfect opportunity to escape. V of Mud, don't worry, I'll be quick. Hahaha, that mistake of losing focus on the body was the perfect opportunity for Izuku. Izuku, my moment has arrived, starting to exert enough force to get out of that snot. Mud V, hey, stop right there. By the time he realized it, the boy had already escaped from him, I said. Come back here, lunging forward, trying to recapture him. Izuku running as fast as possible, easily getting away from the villain. Almight, halt villain, you won't escape again. Texas, smash. He unleashes a powerful blast of wind that defeats the villain, and even though he's far away from Izuku, it still manages to affect him, sending him flying. Izuku falling to the ground from the force of Almight's punch, ouch, that hurt. Wait, only someone can cut through those attacks. Very excited. Almight, good day, young man, I'm sorry if I dragged you into my villain hunt. I don't usually make these mistakes, but I'm just so excited for my day off. With his big smile. Izuku didn't know what to say, he was surprised and excited by the person in front of him, Yuha. Sure, no problem, too nervous to speak. Almight, that's great. Izuku, Almight, do you think Seiya could sign an autograph for me? Desperately searching for his notebook. Almight, of course, taking the notebook he was looking for, here you go. Giving him his signature, this is yours, right? Izuku, yes. Excited, thank you so much, this will be a family heirloom, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, he said quickly while bowing in gratitude several times. He almost seemed to be made of rubber because he could bend so easily. Almight, yes, giving a thumbs up, okay, now this. Starting to put the villain in a bottle. Izuku regaining his posture, what's Almight doing? Almight, I'm putting this bad boy in here. There won't be a problem unless he gets out of here, showing the guy already inside the bottle. Izuku, okay, Almight, do you think I can ask you a question? Nervous about what he's going to do. Almight, I have time, yes young man, make it quick, I have to hand this guy over. Izuku, I know he might say that too, but still, DDO, you think someone without a quirk can be a hero? Almight is taken aback, but after a moment's thought decides to reply, I'm sorry young man, I could lie and say you can be a hero, but all I'd be doing is leading you into a fantasy. It's wonderful that you have dreams, but you must also consider reality. There are many dangers in this world, and if you try to face them, you'll most likely end up seriously injured or even dead. I'm truly sorry, but I don't believe it's possible for someone with a quirk to be a hero. Heroes with trained quirks already have enough problems, someone without that ability will only be a burden. I'm sorry if I offend you, but sadly this isn't a fairy tale. Now if you'll excuse me, shonen, I must go. About to leave. Izuku, oh, somewhat sad, okay, Almight, I understand. Thank you for taking the time to answer my question. I won't bother you anymore. Tries not to sound weak, sad, or pitiful for being incapacitated. Succeeding, goodbye, Almight. Almight, yes, goodbye, shonen, unaware of how the boy truly felt. Izuku leaves calmly until he is far away from Almight, and when he is far enough away, he begins to release his emotions. Almight, after watching the boy leave, he prepares to jump onto a building without realizing he put the villain in the torn pocket of his pants. Mid-jump, the bottle fell and Almight landed on the building only to realize he no longer had it, so he quickly ran to look for it. Not everything is as we want it to be, part 2. Izuku was walking aimlessly, just walking while he was thinking. Izuku, I knew he was going to say it, I knew my dream wasn't possible, and yet I wanted to cling to it as if it were the last thing I had left. Izuku, I know he's doing it for my own good, but that it was so painful. Sighs heavily, oh well, whatever, even if the heroes don't believe in me, I'll still try, realizes he unconsciously shed a few tears. Izuku, come on, hang in there, you have to be that smile that gives hope to others, even if you're not having a good time yourself. He told himself to cheer himself up, wiping away those small tears. He notices a large group of people gathered together watching something. Izuku, maybe he's some kind of hero. That might put me in a good mood, although it's a bit convenient. He headed towards where the crowd was, and thanks to his small, thin body, he was able to pass by, seeing something shocking. Izuku, what the? Looking in disbelief at the monster that had tried to catch him before, but wasn't that guy caught over there, might? Backdraft everyone back behind the line, creating a water fence with his quirk. Death arms, Kamui raised. Do you think you can help him? Kamui, I can't, just getting close could seriously injure me. Very annoyed at not being able to be of much help. Death arms, your backdraft. Backdraft, no, all I can do is keep the fire under control. Desperate because he can't do more. Death arms, damn it, if only I could do something. Stressed by the problem they were having. With Midoriya. Izuku, what's going on, sir? That villain has someone hostage and apparently he has a knack for long-range attacks. I explained the situation a bit. Izuku, number thinking about what to do. Tashinori, looking around with a great sense of helplessness and guilt. If only I could help, if only I hadn't been irresponsible, if only I had more time. Just knowing that someone was in trouble, Izuku didn't hesitate and started running towards the villain. Izuku, I have to help him, but how? His whole body is semi-liquid, wait. His eyes don't have that viscous texture. Maybe if I attack his eyes with something I can get the hostage out and escape. With a plan already in place, he headed to save that person. Backdraft, hey tall kid, don't go, it's dangerous. Death arms, stop and don't do something stupid. Izuku ignored them, and as he moved, he bent down slightly and grabbed a piece of rubble large enough to hurt the guy's eye. Izuku, throwing the rock at his eye and not satisfied, he grabbed his backpack and threw it at his other eye, thus obtaining the perfect opportunity to get the victim out. Upon arriving with the hostage, he was surprised to see that it was Bakugo. Bakugo, breathing very weakly, what are you doing here, Deku? Annoyed but scared at the same time. Izuku, I saw you needed help, so I came to give it to you. She said with a big smile, a little nervous, but at the same time showing great courage. As he said that, he quickly reached in and pulled out, achieving his goal, separating the hostage from the villain. And when I achieve this, I don't hesitate to start running with all my might towards where the heroes were. But the villain managed to recover, so when he saw that the child he had tried to catch earlier was running away with his new prey, he tried to attack them both. However, he didn't count on Midoriya's reflexes, who was able to dodge the attacks. A final attack that came very close to hitting them, if it hadn't been for Midoriya jumping. After that, Izuku spun around to throw Bakugo's body towards the heroes and jumped again, avoiding another attack. Death, we must help him. Kamui, if I act it won't be in vain, about to help him. All Might, he had watched everything in shock, as the quirkless child, knowing the danger, decided to throw himself into it and was now about to be attacked by that villain. But he wouldn't let that happen. V of Mud, you've worn me out, you damn kid. Throws himself at the kid to kill him, but All Might, ha, for God's sake, young man, what kind of person would I be if with my abilities I didn't do what you did? I'd be a complete hypocrite, he said, dodging the attack. All Might, you've caused a lot of trouble, it's time this ended. All Might, Detroit smash. After the blow was delivered, a great gust of wind swept through the area, causing it to begin to rain. Civilian, in one fell swoop the weather changed, he said excitedly, prompting the others to join in praising the symbol of peace. A few minutes later, Bakugo was in the ambulance being checked out. All Might was being interviewed, and Izuku well. Death, that was the most irresponsible thing I've ever seen. Kamui, you know the danger you put yourself in. Backdraft wasn't there, and Mount Lady honestly had no interest in watching two guys scold a kid for doing something good. Death arms, relaxing, well, at least you managed to do something we couldn't, so thanks kid, but don't do that again. Kamui, yeah kid, if you want to help people, wait until you have your license. Then you won't have any problems. But like my partner said, don't do that again, okay, just wait for the right moment. Izuku, yes, already tired from everything that's happened today, can I go? Kamui, yes boy. Izuku, okay, I'm sorry again. After that they went to see Bakugo, who was very upset because, according to him, he was saved by a useless person. While All Might, no, I don't think he's a good successor. Yes, for All Might, Izuku isn't a good successor because he acted very recklessly, but also he didn't know him, and after so many years he's become a bit paranoid, so he decided not to trust a stranger too much. As Midoriya was walking, he was thinking about things. Izuku, alright, I have 10 months to prepare for the UA entrance exam, so I could ask Dad to help me train like always. If that's the best thing to do, I might even learn new moves from him. While he was thinking about that, he didn't notice Bakugo approaching him in a noisy and annoying manner. Izuku, but first, I need to think of an excuse so I don't get punished for being late. Bakugo, damn Deku. Izuku, huh, oh hi Katsuki-san, what do you need? Bakugo, why did you help me? I didn't need your help. Izuku, huh, oh yeah, if it makes you feel better, I didn't know it was you. Bakugo, I don't care, you're just useless, a stumbling block in my path, got it Deku. Don't think that makes you better than me, because you're just a little piece of shit who will never amount to anything in his life. Izuku, not paying attention, okay, Katsuki-san. Bakugo, die you damn Deku nerd, very annoyed. Izuku, not caring about anything he said, come on brain, you can come up with something to defeat someone, you should be able to come up with an excuse. After that, he arrived home, luckily managing to come up with a reason for being late which they believed. And he told his father his plan, who happily agreed. And so began his preparation to enter U. Not everything is as we want it to be, and that's okay, final part. We can see how Izuku and Hisashi were leaving early to begin Izuku's preparation for the exam. Hisashi, okay son, from what you told me we have 10 months until the exam, right? Izuku, yes, so you're saying, Dad, how are we going to do it? Hisashi, we'll do it this way. We'll improve your speed in the first 2 months. In months 3 and 4 we will improve your strength. In months 5 and 6 we will improve your reflexes and agility. In months 7 and 8 we will improve your endurance. And in the final months we'll bring all of that together, improving your fighting skills by refining your combat styles. You should be prepared for those moments. Obviously, your mother will prepare healthy food for you, and you'll also study whatever is necessary even if it's not required, just in case. The way I'm planning it for you, you'll have enough rest time for studying. Basically, everything is balanced so you can have things calm but still improve, okay? Izuku, yes, Dad, excited. Hisashi, and at the end of each month we will remove 10% of all the trash from Dagobah Beach, okay? Izuku, yes. And so Izuku's training began. Summary of months 1 and 2. We can see Midoriya running down the road trying to catch up with his father, who is driving a car at the maximum possible speed. But to avoid getting into trouble, they went to places where they could go at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour. And so the weeks passed until Izuku was able to keep up with the car without much trouble, being able to run at those speeds in a matter of seconds. And by the end of the second month, he had already collected 20% of the trash from the beach. Summary of months 3 and 4. Basically, they trained using heavier weights than before, and for the boy to improve, they decided he should use wrist and ankle weights of a fairly balanced weight. He could already carry 800 kilos without much trouble, but they discovered that he could actually carry a ton. Only after carrying it, he began to feel very tired and started bleeding due to the pressure. But with that discovery in the 4th month, they began to improve in the strength of their punches and kicks. I'll just say that with all the strength and speed it had, it could destroy a car in 4 hits, and let's not even talk about the kicks. And that's all. By the end of the 4th month, they had already cleaned 40% of the beat. Summary of months 5 and 6. They started practicing more parkour in the streets. In addition to doing acrobatics and pirouettes, they also did gymnastics, improving considerably. Midoriya could now jump 5 meters without taking a running start. In the 6th month, they used some tennis triggers with a speed meter and requested them. So starting at low levels, practice dodging and then gradually increase your skill level, eventually improving to deflect shots or even stop shots that could dislocate or even break a bone. And by the end of the 6th month, 60% of the beach was already clean. Summary of months 7 and 8. This was one of the more relaxed ones because to improve endurance they had to do exercises, so they reviewed what they had done in the previous months. Except adding one where the father would give light blows, gradually increasing the intensity until he could withstand even the strongest blow. But to avoid being just receive and return, they decided to add another training session where they learned to counterattack. And that's all, he was the most relaxed of all. By the end of the 8th month, they had already cleaned 80% of the beach. Summary of the last few months. Well, here they used all the improvements, adding them to their fighting styles, boxing, karate, and kung fu, and combining styles into one. This, as in previous months, was calm. At the end of the 9th month, they finished cleaning the beach. It was a very happy day for father and son, as it showed that all their effort had not been in vain. And they were even happier to see that Dagobah Beach was returning to its former glory. The last month was even calmer, and all we had to do was wait for exam day, so how about I tell you how our boy has changed? He used to be a 14-year-old boy with a body whose muscles were not visible. His hair reached his neck and his face still looked like that of a child, quite rightly so since he was 166 meters tall. And now, although he hadn't changed much, it was enough. He was now 15 years old with a body whose muscles were already noticeable. It wasn't exaggerated, it was quite good. He had hair similar to his father's, a little below his shoulders, his face was more developed, and now he was 177 meters tall. There weren't many changes, but those few changes were noticeable. And what happened at school? After the accident with the villain, no one would speak to Midoriya except his teachers, who noticed the positive changes in him. Not even Bakugo bothered him. It's that simple. The day had arrived, the day Midoriya had been waiting for. On the day of the exam, he knew it, so he woke up early and prepared. He headed there somewhat nervously, and when he arrived, he stared at that building. He was scared. And then someone he knew arrived. Bakugo, hey you damn nerd, get out of my way. Izuku, he didn't even pay attention and continued thinking. Bakugo, I said get out of the way, bumping his shoulder into Deku's, who is surprised to feel pain. Don't be a damn nuisance, Rock. Izuku decided to gather his courage and confidently entered the building. He took the written exam, and thanks to his intelligence, he managed to do it quickly, but he decided to take some time to check that everything was correct and that there wasn't a mistake that would affect his grade. Once he had verified that everything was fine, he handed it in and went to a room where they would give information about the physical exam. Although the information was already in the brochures, it didn't hurt to listen. Perhaps he knew something more. The hall was full, so the stage was lit, revealing a rather strange hero. Present Mike, hello, everybody say hey. Unfortunately for him, nobody answered. Present Mike, tough crowd, muttered never mind, as you all should know, we'll be informing you about the physical test, okay? He said excitedly. That's how he began to explain what it would be like, but before he could talk about anything. Ida, hey, there's a robot missing that they haven't explained. If it's a bad impression, they should be very ashamed, he exclaimed somewhat indignantly. Izuku, poor guy, he must be really nervous, how could he not be? Whispers to himself, understanding the reason for the blue-haired boy's behavior. Present Mike, I'm sorry young man, but that's what I was going to explain. The last robot is 0 points. As its name indicates, it won't give any points. Rather, it will be like a trap, so if you happen to find it, run away as fast as you can because it will try to keep you in one place so you don't get any points. Ida, thank you very much for the explanation, and I'm sorry to interrupt, he said, tense with embarrassment and nerves. After that, he went to prepare for the real test. Midoriya was wearing light blue sportswear, his iconic red sneakers and red martial arts gloves. He was mentally preparing himself for what was to come on the bus. And he wasn't the only one because there wasn't a sound on the bus. They had already arrived at their destination. Izuku was warming up so he wouldn't have any problems. He was waiting for the moment, so as soon as the doors opened he would run because it meant that it had already begun. So with that in mind, he continued his warm-up. Then out of nowhere, the doors suddenly opened. And he didn't wait, he started running to destroy robots. The guy who was presenting was about to say something to her, but suddenly she heard. Speaker, what are you waiting for? Heroes never use a countdown. Start running before that green-haired kid gets all the points. And with that said, everyone started running to try and score points. But what was our protagonist doing? So he decided that if they took all this seriously, it meant there would be many robots scattered everywhere, hiding and waiting for someone to find them so he could destroy them. You could see him running, dodging shots, jumping from wall to wall, propelling himself to rip the robots' heads off in one blow. And if I didn't have the chance to do that, I'd just give them 3 punches and that would be the end of those robots. The exam lasted half an hour, half of that time had already passed, and the boys already had at least 15 points. Some already had a maximum of 25 points. But there were people watching everything from a dark room talking about the students. NEZU, the new generation has some very interesting kids, what do you say? One of the teachers, that Bakugo guy is quite interesting, his strength and ferocity are quite something. Watching Bakugo violently attack the robots. Midnight, I think Uraraka is a good option, we just have to help her with some things. Looking at the girl, who already seemed tired. Cementos, I think this guy is interesting. Said the hero in the form of a giant brick, looking at someone in particular. Present Mike, who are you? Directing his attention to him like everyone else. Cementos, pointing directly at Midoriya, that kid, as soon as the game started, ran to more hidden areas, leaving quite a few people on the main street, but even so, he already has almost 30 points. He said, drawing even more attention from the others. Snipe, but the kid doesn't have a very remarkable quirk. And it was true, the others had somewhat remarkable quirks, but he didn't. Cementos, and that's what's important because he's one of those who has quickly gained the most points. If he continues like this, he'll get the 40 points needed or more. While they were talking, there were only 10 minutes left. And EZU, hey, what if we let the big guy loose? Let's see how the kids react. Will they do what we told them or will they give us more surprises? Everyone, very good. So he pressed the red button and searched for the folder. He found it curious how simple Midoriya's quirk was. Everything was a disaster. As soon as the 0-point system was implemented, it caused havoc at the exits. It was very difficult to leave, the students were locked in with the 0-point system. A few were able to leave, but the majority remained. And the green-haired boy was watching this because he already had 40 points, enough to pass. But then I heard a shout warning me where the 0 points were. Without thinking, he ran to where he had heard the noise, seeing that a girl was about to be crushed. He didn't stand still, he immediately ran, and the 0-pointer almost moved his foot to crush them, but the boy managed to avoid it. After that, he continued moving until, according to him, he left her in a safe place. And with a scared face, but you could see that he was going to do something to prevent anyone else from getting hurt. So determined, he started running towards a building where he would have a chance to climb onto the robot. Entering that building, he saw a metal pipe with one side sharpened like a spear. So I took it and quickly went up the stairs until I reached a level where I could reach the robot's head. He saw the perfect moment and salto. As soon as he landed, he saw where the robot could have the greatest impact and attacked with the sharp point. And he did it. He defeated a robot that was perhaps 50 meters tall without any power, only his skill and ingenuity. Nezu was surprised because while they were watching the boy's act, he discovered that the boy had no quirk. That child scored 100 points. Wait, 100 points. Yes, that includes the 40 points he earned with the robot, plus the one he saved from saving many of his fellow testers by deactivating the 0.1. Izuku managed to prevent further chaos, but what he didn't count on was falling. But he was saved by the girl he rescued before she was stepped on. That happened. Now let's see how the teachers reacted to this. If Nezu didn't know that Izuku had a quirk, he would have been happy to have him, but that wasn't the case. He knew the dangers of being a hero, and not having the ability that most heroes possess makes it even more dangerous for Izuku. And as the principal, he should have taken responsibility and not put him in the hero's course for the boy's safety. Yes, it was sad, but the most responsible thing to do. When the other teachers found out, they too felt sad to know that someone couldn't achieve their goal, but they couldn't do anything. They couldn't give the child a quirk. Hence. Yes, sadly, not everything is as we want it to be. 1 week after the exam, Izuku was eating with his family. Until the doorbell rang, Inko went to open it and… Inko, Izuku, look, the letter has arrived, she said excitedly but scared at the same time. Izuku, do you think I can see her alone? Hisashi, of course, son, go see what it says. Inko, here, son. Before Izuku left, she hugged him in the most affectionate way. Izuku, thank you, mom, he said, accepting the hug, then separated and went to his room. He was trembling. He didn't know what the letter might say, but he feared that whatever it said would be something bad. I knew I had to open it because if I didn't, I wouldn't know what happened. So he carefully removed the seal to take out the contents. A mini black cylinder with a metal ring surrounding it. When touched, it lit up, revealing a tiny, adorable creature. Nezu, hello, I'm a bear, a dog, or a mouse. Actually, my real name is the principal, said the adorable animal. Izuku laughed at the creature's remark. Nezu, well, young Izuku Midoriya, as you know, to enter the hero class, you need to pass 2 tests. Nezu, as you can see, you did flawlessly on your written exam. Nezu, and here's the interesting part, in the physical exam you scored 40 points for defeating villains. That's enough to pass. But what kind of school for heroes would we be if we didn't count the traits of a hero? You demonstrated courage and the gift of self-sacrifice, risking your life to save others. Many of the examinees with you could have suffered very serious injuries if you hadn't been there. And that adds 60 points for heroic acts. Izuku are really. Nezu, but everything good has its downside. As the principal, I must take the details seriously, and the fact that you don't have a quirk makes it quite dangerous for you to be in that class. It's sad but true, this isn't a fairy tale, life can be cruel many times. But it is our decision whether we choose to get up and keep going. I'm sorry, but you can still join another class if you'd like, and that's how the video ends. Izuku, I know there was very little chance of it happening, but it doesn't hurt anymore. Izuku, actually I feel quite happy and content with what I've accomplished, so yeah, I didn't achieve what I wanted, but that's okay. I showed what I'm made of and what I'm capable of. Izuku, I managed to grow as a person, and that's the best thing. Life isn't always fair, but my decision is to keep going. Life has its ups and downs. The following Monday. Today was Midoriya's first day at UA, and he was nervous. Inko, oh look at you, my little one is growing up so fast. You look just as handsome as your father. Izuku, blushing mom. Inko, I'm sorry, it's just that I'm so excited that you're at the same school where your father and I studied and where we met. Izuku, yes mom, I know, you and dad met and became friends, then you started dating and became a couple. Inko, hey, come here, attracting her son, oh my god, this is something you and Hisashi have in common. Adjusting his tie, you don't know how to tie a tie. Izuku, thanks mom. Inko, you have everything right. Izuku, of course, Inko-san. Izuku, yes, peeking through the door. Inko, we are so proud of you, we love you. Izuku, I love you all too. Leaving his house, goodbye. Inko, goodbye Izuku. and Midoriya headed towards UA. He was going to the general education classroom. When he arrived, there were still 5 minutes until classes started. Izuku, there are very few people, seeing that there were barely 12 of them. I suppose the others decided not to lose their honor by being here, therefore taking the exams at other hero schools, heading towards the tables. Izuku, okay, remember the seat Mom told you about, sitting in the place that once belonged to his mother. Midoriya began to look around at his classmates. They weren't very important, but he found one of them's appearance curious. A boy with pale skin, purple eyes and hair, and dark circles under his eyes that looked like they were from lack of sleep. That boy, every time I saw him, I noticed he seemed to be depressed. Maybe I'll try talking to him later. Then a teacher arrived to explain some things to us and took us to the entrance ceremony. Something that was a bit boring and not worth talking about. Almost 2 weeks later. It was Thursday, and apparently the students of Class 1A were going to USJ for hero training. It was almost lunchtime. When the bell rang, everyone rushed out like animals. Izuku left quietly. He didn't have much to do. He wasn't very interested in making friends. Bakugo wasn't bothering him anymore. He had nothing to worry about. He was having lunch. He felt that something was going to happen. He believed that feeling was because someone was going to make fun of him. But nothing happened, and that worsened the world. But she decided not to give it any importance. They were already in class. Everything was just as boring, but then. Loudspeaker, all teachers requested, this is an emergency. Teacher, I'll be back in a little while. Don't even think about leaving here. Students, hi, Izuku. What on earth is going on? It must be very alarming if they need all the teachers. Minutes before it was time to leave. Teacher, okay, everyone, I have an announcement. There will be no classes tomorrow. That's all, you can go home now. And so they left with many doubts but obeying the order. When Izuku arrived, he explained to his parents about the days off. During those days I was trying to relax, but for some reason I couldn't. I felt I should have been somewhere helping, but where, whom? The days flew by and they went back to class. And his classmates asked the question, something that was eating away at Izuku. Teacher, kids, this is very serious. 2 students from classroom 1A died in the attack, and the 2 teachers who were with them were seriously injured. One is in a coma. When they found out, they felt sad for them. So when they went out to lunch, they decided to go to room 1A to offer their condolences. Izuku was only going out of respect for those who died that day, and Shinsu was going for other reasons. Then they quickly went to where they had planned, but were surprised to see that there were more people. There was a boy who was insulting others for no reason, according to them. And he turned to look at them to say things to them, but he didn't. Bakugo, what are you doing here, you damn Deku? Izuku, we came to offer our condolences. Bakugo, I don't care, I want you to get out of here. Izuku, you know, I thought that when you came here you'd change and have a little more concern and respect for your classmates, especially after what happened. Uncomfortable being the center of attention because of Bakugo. Bakugo, shut up, you damn useless thing. I don't even know why they accepted you. Izuku, I don't care what you think. I got here on my own merits. I didn't even come for you. I came out of respect for my classmates from another group. Izuku, I'm sorry for causing this scene. He apologized for his disrespect. Iida, no problems. Shinsu, you know, I thought that being in the hero course you'd command respect, but I realized you're just a bunch of arrogant jerks. Shinsu's companions were astonished by that. Shinsu, it doesn't matter, you guys aren't worth it. Heading towards the dining room. His colleagues went to reprimand him for that attitude. Izuku, I'm sorry my classmates disrespected you, I'm truly sorry. Very ashamed of his classmates' attitude. Iida, okay. Izuku, thank you very much, goodbye. After that, everyone went to the dining room. Then classes began. Teacher, oh right, I forgot to tell you we'll be having the sports festival in 2 weeks. Teacher, you won't have that many classes to prepare, so remember to give it your all because you might just get into the hero class. Everyone celebrated when they found out, but only 2 people. Shinsu was hiding a somewhat sinister smile. Izuku would take this seriously, but he wouldn't think about joining the hero class. Upon arriving home, he began preparing for his training routine. He was going to give his all at the sports festival, demonstrating that I am capable. It was the day. Today was going to be a day when the students would show what they were made of, all of them for different reasons. Izuku was no exception. He was there for a friendly competition. Lacking the Olympics, he would use the sports festival to test his skills. He didn't care if he won, he just wanted to have fun. Present mic, good morning everyone. Everyone shout yeah. Audience, yeah. Present, I will be the commentator for this great event, but I won't be alone. Midnight, that's right Mike, I'm Midnight and I'll be the host of this festival. Present Mike, well now that we've introduced ourselves, let's see the contestants. Present Mike, those who managed to survive a villain attack, Class 1A, he said with a hint of sadness that no one noticed. When I introduced them, they came out so the audience could see them. Present Mike, then the kids who haven't done anything important, Class 1B. Tetsu, hey shouts as he comes out with his companions. Present Mike, and then there are those that are honestly not very relevant, the general, support, and accounting classes. When their names were called, they came out, although they could be seen annoyed by how they had been offended. Present Mike, alright, these are the competitors. I hope everyone gives it their all. Everyone say after me. Everyone go beyond your limits, plus ultra. Present, okay, go and get ready, we'll call you for the start of the first phase, but first. The roulette wheel started spinning, leaving the obstacle course as the challenge. Midnight, okay, now you can go and wait for us to call you, and they went to wait for them to be called. He was in a room with his group preparing. Nobody said anything, they were serious and determined to win so they could prove they were capable of being in the heroic class. Izuku said nothing. He didn't want to bother them, he wanted his companions to achieve their goal. Then their teacher told them that they had to leave. They were 5 minutes away from starting the first phase of the festival. They were taken to a dark tunnel piled up with the other classes. Then they heard the following. Present Mike, get ready, the competition starts in 3. Everyone was preparing as best they could with the limited space. 2. They were ready to leave, they were just waiting for the door to open. 1. Begin, they would all bolt. Shoto, I'm going to win serious. Having said that, he began to freeze the ground and with it the feet of the others. But what that living bacon didn't know was that some, even with that tricky set, would still manage to keep up with him. Izuku, I won't stay here, he thought as he exerted some force to break the ice and free his feet, succeeding. After doing that, he started running, managing to get almost close to that bicolored boy. Although he wasn't the only one, they warned about it. Present Mike, it seems some students managed to reach the second obstacle of the race. Present Mike, as you can see from this obstacle, the runners will have to go through the robots used for the entrance exams. Extra, seriously, this is what the hero class had to face. Exclaimed, terrified by the gigantic 0-point robots. Izuku, I know I've faced those robots before, but they're seriously scary. He thought about starting to run again, managing to get past the robots with some difficulty. Some robots tried to shoot him to stop him from advancing, but thanks to Midoriya's quick reflexes, he was able to dodge them. Some were having a few problems, but they were managing to get through. We can see how Midoriya jumped and dodged lightning bolts, performing acrobatics, spinning in the air, and quickly passing the obstacle, while he was just a few robots away from moving on to the next obstacle. Present Mike, a few students have already reached the next part. In this one, they will have to cross the ropes, but be careful, because if they fall, they will be disqualified, so good luck. Izuku, that's a problem, but if I try to slide using something that gives me decent balance, I could get through that a little more easily, he thought, then went straight for a robot, tearing off a piece of metal. Izuku, alright, this will do, taking the piece and starting to run faster, catching up with the other runners. Midoriya began to climb the ropes quite nimbly, advancing without much trouble. And when he reached a tall tower, he quickly analyzed the area to see what would be most advantageous for him. Once that was done, he positioned himself with the metal plate and began to slide, going quickly. He was going at a very difficult speed to control. You could see how he was struggling not to fall. He balanced, managing to maintain a good equilibrium until he reached another pillar. Due to the unevenness of the surfaces, the board gave a jolt, forcing him to balance quickly or he would fall. You could see him trying to manage to maintain his balance. She was about to fall but quickly tilted her body sharply, regaining perfect balance. He managed to get through that part, catching up with 2 people. Shoto, who got past the ropes by making an ice bridge, and Bakugo, who got past it by flying through with explosions. Present Mike, wow, it looks like 3 people have made it to the final part of this challenge. Present Mike, be very careful, it may look harmless, but if you're overconfident, you could be blown up. There are hidden mines, they're not powerful enough to cause serious harm, but they can still leave you with some injuries. Shoto, I should go slowly. I don't think Bakugo will do anything crazy, and I don't think that kid will do anything crazy either. Starts walking slowly to avoid getting into trouble. Bakugo, don't even think I'll let you win, you damn half and half. Walking a little faster but carefully to catch up with the boy. Izuku, damn, they're quite far away, I don't think I can reach them, getting a little discouraged. Izuku, unless, looking at the metal plate and the bulges where there are mines. Izuku starts to approach, using the piece of metal like a shovel, dislodging the mines and arranging them before searching for more and grouping them together. Jiro, watching what he was doing, what on earth is that boy doing? Is he stupid or something? Walking past him. Izuku, seeing what he did, okay, if my plan is correct, when I jump into those mines I'll have enough momentum to reach first place, preparing. Izuku improvised move, rocket takeoff, launches himself belly flop with the metal plate underneath. Izuku shot off at a perfect angle to overtake everyone and gain a slight advantage. Present Mike, what the heck? Midoriya just gave a presentation. What on earth do they teach in general education? Everyone could see that boy was in the air. Bakugo, I won't let that idiot win, propelling himself forward without caring about detonating the mines. Shoto, don't even think about it. Start sliding down the ice. Izuku was falling, but what he didn't count on was the persistence of those two, one because he didn't know him and the other because he didn't recognize him. Izuku, standing 15 meters off the ground, I will win this. Hitting the ground, activating a mine, propelling himself forward, stunning and pushing the other two away. After that final push, he fell on his back almost at shoulder height, taking advantage of this to propel himself with his legs to make a turn and quickly stand up. Izuku ran with all his might, being gradually caught by Shoto and Katsuki. Present Mike, what a photo finish. Who will win? Everyone watched the tunnel with anticipation and excitement. They were waiting to see which of the three would win the race. And the winner was... Present Mike, and the winner of the first round is Izuku Midoriya. Everyone started shouting the boy's name. Izuku walking slowly as a small tear escaped. Don't cry, Izuku, lift your head. He raised his hand and began to shake it while putting on a big smile, greeting the people who saw him, but more importantly, sending a signal to his parents. Then more students started to arrive. When everyone arrived, Midnight, all right, cracking her whip, the 49 students who made it through to the next round. For those who ranked 50 and above, don't be discouraged, the next one is coming up next. That said, only those 49 of the 89 students who entered remained. Midnight, all right, spin the wheel. The roulette wheel spun until it stopped at a certain place. Midnight, the next round is cavalry battle. Midnight, after explaining how it worked, okay, depending on your ranking, your band's points will depend on that position, while first place will receive 10,000 points. When they said that, everyone turned to look at Midoriya. Midoriya, everyone's watching me. Do they really think I'm going to make it easy for them? He thought seriously while making a face of concentration. Midnight, with all that said, start forming your teams. You have 5 minutes, so go. And so everyone moved away from Izuku. He thought it was reasonable. They probably believed it would be a guaranteed loss. While that was happening, Izuku, damn, I need a team, but nobody wants to be with me. Uraraka, hello, you're Izuku. Midoriya, right? Izuku, yeah, hey, aren't you the girl from the entrance exam? Uraraka, yes. Hey, I saw you're having trouble finding a team. Can I join your team? Izuku, of course, we just need 2 more. May, hey, first place guy, let me be on your team. Izuku, okay, but why so suddenly? May, you're the one who'll get the most attention, so I'm going to take advantage of that and show what my babies can do. Izuku / Uraraka, what? May, my inventions, that's what I call them, my babies, showing some gadgets. May, and what do they say? Izuku, welcome to the team, well, we just need 1 more person. May, why not him's pointing at Takazami. Izuku, yeah, maybe, going to ask him, hey, wouldn't you like to be on my team? Takazami, why not? Izuku, okay, we still have some time, so I'm going to tell you my plan so we can reach the final. Deca squad, okay. Midnight, time's up, get ready, this starts in 3, 2, 1. Begins whipping the whips. And so it began. Some tried to steal the 10,000 point band, but instead of succeeding, they only lost their bands. Izuku's team already had 3 headbands, not counting Midoriya's 10,000 point headband. He was about to put on the last one, but accidentally pulled down the forehead mask too. Izuku, oops, go back to your place, putting his bandana back on. And after that, the boy just started dodging the attacks. Bakugo, you damn nerd, give me your damn headband, pushing himself up to try and take it off. Takayami, Dark Shadow, go. Dark Shadow, going to protect Izuku, hitting Bakugo and almost making him fall to the ground. Zero, we almost lost, be more careful, Bakugo, catching him with his tape. Bakugo, shut up, flat face, sits back down. Izuku, well done, Dark Shadow, thank you very much, Takayami. Takayami / Dark Shadow, you're welcome, Shadow. But Bakugo would still try until he felt someone had stolen his headband. Monoma, I can't believe someone from the supposedly best class lost something important in such a stupid way as getting distracted. That just proves that 1B is better, hahaha. Bakugo, damn it, shitty hair, let's go after that son of a bitch. Kirishima, my name is Kirishima, and if we're going. That wouldn't be all, because a few minutes later, Todoroki would arrive. Todoroki, making a large circle, trapping both teams. Don't even think I'll let you win. I will be the champion of this competition. He said a little arrogantly, which wasn't noticeable because of his serious tone. Izuku, and don't you think I'll let you win? Izuku realized that Iida was preparing for something, so he turned to his classmates to, according to Shoto, order them to get ready. But what I was really telling them was that now they needed to put their plan into action. Iida, Todoroki, I'm ready whenever you're ready. Shoto now, Iida great. And so Iida was going at an incredible speed. Takagami ordered Dark Shadow to defend, while Mei pulled out a device. But even so, they weren't good enough to save the band. All Izuku could do was watch as Todoroki's hand approached as if everything were happening at a snail's pace. He tried to dodge it, but he wasn't fast enough. As soon as Shoto had the headband, he put it around his neck, melting the ice to leave. Izuku, no damn it. The headbands are too far away, guys. We have to go for more. We won't make it with these. Putting on one of the 3 headbands on his forehead. Shoto heard that, understanding that he had achieved what he wanted. Shoto, we can relax now, we already won. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't do it. They didn't get any more bands and that frustrated them. Midnight, time's up, everyone back here. They all returned, some sad, some normal, and a few happy. Midnight, okay, show us your bands, guys. Izuku, sorry guys, I wasn't a good leader. I couldn't get us to score more than 10,000 points. Showing the headband on his forehead. Shoto, what the heck? Izuku, didn't you realize that wasn't it? Midnight, the winner is Izuku Midoriya's team. The others who made it to the final are Todoroki's team, Bakugo's team, and Shinsu's team. That's very few. Midnight, okay, the next phase is seeing as is everyone else a fighting tournament. Ningareki, actually I don't want to move on to the next round. Midnight, why not? Ningareki, because I don't remember anything from this round and I feel it's disrespectful. Midnight, okay, but that means we're still short of people for the final phase. Ningareki, I think they would be the best for this, pointing at Itsuka, Monoma, and Tetsu. The 3 mentioned us, your class, yes, you're the best option, you can do it. Tetsu, okay, Kendo, thank you so much for this opportunity. Monoma will prove our class is better. Midnight, okay, with 16 participants now, let's see how the shifts will be. And another roulette wheel starts spinning with the students' names and it ended up like this. Shinsu Hitoshi versus Kaminari Denki. Iida Tenya versus Hatsume. Shoto Todoroki versus Shiro Hanta. Kirishima Ijiro goes Tetsu. Mono Manito versus Ajiro Mashura. Yaoyorozu Momo vs Takami Fumikid. Midoriya Izuku versus Kendo Itsuka. Bakugo Katsuki versus Uraraka Achaka. Midnight, but first there will be a break, so take advantage of it. With all that said, everyone went to lunch. A while later the first battle began. Kaminari, sorry buddy, but I'll win. Shinsu, seriously. Kaminari, do you doubt it? Shinsu, yes, well you should go out. Kaminari turned around and started walking towards the exit. Present Mike, what is this? Is Kaminari giving up? Kaminari losing control and losing it, huh? Present Mike, the winner of this fight is Shinsu Hitoshi. Kaminari, what? He started to go where his course was. Mina, Kaminari, what happened? Kaminari, I don't know, from one moment to the next I was off stage. Everyone became thoughtful, but they couldn't stay that way for long. The next round was about to begin. Iida vs Mei. This is the same as the manga anime, so I'll skip it. Shoto versus Shiro. I'll skip it too, it's the same thing. Kirishima vs Tetsu. Equal. Ajiro, alright, it's my turn now. I'll do it in honor of my comrades. And he went on stage. Monoma, well, I think I'll manage with my plan. Ajiro, arriving and getting into a fighting stance. Midnight, the fight begins now. And with that, Monoma ran towards Ajiro, making his fist bigger. Ajiro dodges by propelling himself with his tail, don't even think about it. Kicks him. Monoma, you're strong. Deactivating the copy of Kendo's quirk, but how are you doing with this? Activating a copy of Tetsu's quirk. Ajiro, damn it. Moving away, I have to strike with my tail, it's the only way to do enough damage to break it. Monoma, come here, running slowly, trying to hit him. Ajiro, dodging, nope, turning and hitting him with his tail, pushing him away a bit. Monoma, you're just prolonging the inevitable, trying to hit him again. Ajiro, blocking the blow, you're the one doing it. He spins twice to gain enough momentum, striking him on the head, shattering the metal and knocking him out, and that's it. He said, sounding a little tired. Present Mike, the winner is Ajiro Mashiro. After that came Momo and Takagami, which was the same as the anime manga, so I won't do any filler. Midoriya was arriving on stage. Izuku, I hope we have a good fight. Kendo, I hope so too, Midoriya. Midnight, begin now. Midoriya began to move towards Kendo. She made her fist bigger to punch him, but Izuku jumped, dodging him, and upon landing kicked him in the back. Kendo spun around, trying to slap him, but when he saw he couldn't, he returned his hand to normal and delivered a flying kick. Izuku caught his leg and threw it. As soon as he threw it, he tried to punch him in the stomach. But she dodged him, managing to kick him in the cheek and getting up. Ignoring that, he made her believe he was going to kick her, so she ducked. But he took advantage of that and hit her with a hammer blow to the back. She fell to the ground and he grabbed her legs and began to spin on his own axis. With that momentum, he threw Kendo off the stage, but by enlarging his hands, he managed to stop just a few steps from the end. He recovered and ran, wanting to hit him, but he grabbed her wrist and using his speed made her pass over him and fall. And that's all that happened. He put his foot on her back to apply pressure, his other leg on top of hers to prevent movement, and grabbed both her wrists so she couldn't move. Midnight, Kendo cannot continue. The winner is Midoriya Izuku. Izuku getting off. That was a good fight. Kendo, offering his hand. Kendo, I think the same. Midoriya, accepting and managing to stand up. Present Mike, that was an interesting battle. Then came the battle of Uraraka vs. Bakugo. Just like that. Midnight, okay, you can take a short break, but first let's see who you'll be fighting. Watching the roulette wheel spin to see what the next fights would be. These were Shinsu vs. Iida, Midoriya vs. Ajiro, Bakugo vs. Kirishima, Todoroki vs. Takagami. Midnight, alright, you can go rest now. Don't go away, you'll see action soon. Everyone was relaxing, some were eating, others went to check if anything was wrong. Thereafter. Present Mike, let's begin with the second round. The unknown one Shinsu, and in the other corner the fast one running but not closing his mouth Iida. Midnight, begin. Iida, I will win this. Shinsu, I don't think so, get out of here quickly. Iida, his eyes rolled back and he walked past, leaving the stage. Present Mike, well, that was very boring. Present Mike, well, never mind, let's move on to the next one. Present Mike, in one corner we have the star kid who so far has done nothing but demonstrate his great skill, and on the other side we have the kid who does this for honor. Ajiro, don't think that just because you're in general education I'll make it easy for you, he said amicably. Izuku, I didn't expect you to do that, come at me with everything. Midnight, begin. The two began to approach each other, each preparing, Izuku to throw a punch and Ajiro to throw a kick. The blows crossed, they separated quickly. Ajiro launched his tail to strike him horizontally. Izuku performed a backflip, and as soon as he landed, he executed a sweep. Ajiro fell but gave a stern dodge, dodging an axe kick from his enemy. Izuku jumped and began hitting Ajiro with bicycle kicks. Ajiro was sent flying by a double kick to his chest. He was almost about to fall, but he couldn't stay calm because Izuku was approaching to deliver a hook punch. Even blocking with his tail, it would be strong enough to break his guard. Izuku didn't waste this opportunity and delivered an uppercut, knocking him off the stage. Midnight, Izuku is the winner. Izuku, great fight, extending his hand. Ajiro, yes it was, standing up, good luck. Izuku, thank you. Present Mike, what an exciting fight. I hope the next fights are like this. Bakugo vs. Kirishima, same. Present Mike, a somewhat aggressive battle, but just as exciting as the previous one. Todoroki vs. Takagami. Well, there's not much to say, Shoto froze Takagami, winning, so he. Present Mike, another boring battle, well, wait a moment for the ice to freeze, take advantage and go get more popcorn because we'll be back in a little while. A few minutes later. Present Mike, alright, we're back to the semifinals. The match is between Shoto Todoroki and Katsuki Bakugo. The fight is the same as the original, there's no chain. Present Mike, please wait a few minutes for the final fight of the semifinal. When he said that, they began to melt the ice again and reassemble the stage. But while that was happening, many were already thinking about the next battle. Everyone believed it would be difficult for Midoriya to win, since the function of Shinsu's quirk was still unknown. They had already written off the young star. But he didn't see it that way, he felt he had a chance against him. The problem was that he didn't analyze his opponent, but he still had a chance. Present Mike, alright, the battle is about to begin. Midnight. Midnight, nodding, the battle begins now. Shinsu, you know it's impressive how someone like you got this far. Izuku, Shinsu, it's impressive how someone from the weakest group in the world has made it this far. After all, they're just underdeveloped apes who won't be able to do anything in their lives. Audience. Everyone was surprised to learn that the boy who demonstrated great abilities was Quirkless, and as an insult to those in that class. Izuku, his hair covered his eyes. Hey, what do you mean? Shinsu, alright, now get off the stage. Izuku, his body just started to tremble. Shinsu, didn't you hear me, you idiot? Get off the stage. Everyone believed that Midoriya had already lost. Izuku, that bastard, I can't let that idiot get away with it, he'll regret it. His body began to tremble even more and he managed to move his leg forward. Shinsu, what? Everyone was surprised. Izuku, you bastard, I won't let you insult my kind. I won't do what you say no matter what. Even if you control my body and mind, I won't obey your orders. Izuku revealed his eyes, which glowed a toxic green color, and began to run, raising one hand. Shinsu, stop, scared, I said stop. Izuku grabbed Shinsu's wrist and punched him in the cheekbone. Shinsu tried to punch back, but Izuku dodged and landed a right hook to his ribs. Shinsu, in great pain, tried to land another blow, but Izuku ducked and delivered an uppercut. The moment that happened, Izuku grabbed him by the hair and struck him with his knee. Taking advantage of the fact that he was still crouched down, Midoriya delivered a hammer blow. Shinsu was about to fall to the ground, but he was kicked, forcing him to remain standing. Izuku was hitting Shinsu a lot, and Shinsu, trying to stop the wave of blows he was receiving, tried to slap him or something. But Izuku noticed this, so he stopped hitting him, grabbed Shinsu's arm and spun him around, slamming him hard to the ground, to turn around again and deliver a powerful blow directly to Shinsu's forehead. Shinsu thought it was over, but it continued. Midoriya grabbed his head, squeezing it a little to make Shinsu feel the pain, and started kneeing him. When he got tired, he started punching him. Shinsu, stop. Izuku simply punched him in the center of the chest, causing Shinsu to hit painfully. What happened? His eyes stopped glowing and returned to their dark green color. Present Mike, after that humiliation, Midoriya makes it to the finals. Izuku started approaching Shinsu. I'm sorry for what I did, I shouldn't have done it. Crouches down a little, but you brought it on yourself too. Shinsu, why couldn't I beat you? Izuku, for two very simple reasons. I won't kneel before anyone and you made me angry, that's why you didn't win. With that said, Midoriya helped Shinsu to his feet and Shinsu went to the infirmary while Midoriya went to rest on the balcony with his class. A few minutes had passed, the final fight was about to begin. Present Mike, here we are, in the final. With you, the young star who managed to get here through hard work, and with him, the strongest student in the hero class. I don't know about you, but I'm very excited. Midnight, alright, ready, set, fight. Bakugo, hey, I didn't think you'd make it this far, Deku. Deku, well, here I am. Bakugo, HMPH, no matter how strong you are, Deku, you're next. Deku, you're underestimating my power, you bastard. Bakugo starts walking slowly. Bakugo, oh, you're getting closer. Even knowing you don't stand a chance, you keep coming closer instead of giving up, like a stubborn kid who tries something many times. Deku, I can't defeat you if I don't get closer. Bakugo, haha, fine, then come as close as you want, he said mockingly, I'll still humiliate you. And with that said, they both started running. Bakugo launched an explosion, but that wasn't enough, as Deku passed through it without any problems, hitting him in the cheek. And not only that, but he punched him again in the stomach. Bakugo, being knocked back by the blow, I guess it was my mistake to underestimate you, he said, sounding a little hurt, but that's something I won't do again, launching forward to try and create an explosion. Deku manages to dodge the explosion. I won't let you win, delivers a quick punch to the ribs. Bakugo, I hope so. Deku hits him in the face with an explosion. Deku, damn it, quickly backing away while rubbing his eyes. Bakugo took advantage of the situation to deliver a powerful kick, succeeding. As soon as Deku felt the kick, he quickly grabbed his leg and started spinning, throwing him. Bakugo quickly changed course, heading straight for Deku. But he saw it coming, so when he saw Bakugo nearby, he grabbed him and spun him around only to slam him. Bakugo couldn't react in time and received a blow to the chest, but managed to break free by launching another explosion. That's how the battle went. You could see waves of blows and explosions being sent out. We could see Midoriya jumping and flipping to dodge the explosions, getting closer to Bakugo to land a punch. But he managed to stop him with small explosions and then hit him with stronger ones. Sometimes Deku did manage to land blows which were quite strong. With enough rubble already in place, Deku could hide. Bakugo was distracted by destroying some of it, trying to catch the green-haired boy, but Deku took advantage of this to slip away and kick him in the head. And by doing this, he could land 2 more blows, further tiring Bakugo. Sometimes he would kick some rubble to attack Bakugo from a distance. Tired of hiding, he came out to give Bakugo a real fight. You could see them exchanging blows, each one stronger than the last. Bakugo was quite tired and sweaty, his body ached with just moving, but he wouldn't give up. Midoriya wasn't so different, his body burned from the burns and he ached a little from the blows, but he would endure it for the sake of victory. They moved a little further away. Bakugo, just give up, you damn useless bastard. You won't win, preparing his hand for a massive explosion from all the sweat. Midoriya, I won't give up. Even if my body breaks, I'll keep going. My desire to win will lift me up and keep me going. Bakugo, you're too stubborn. That will only lead you to a horrible fate. With that said, they started running, Midoriya with his fist ready to punch him and Bakugo ready to launch an explosion. When they were close, Bakugo launched his explosion, but Izuku moved his arm like bait to protect himself and with the other punched him in the face. Bakugo, are you really that weak? That's useless. Propelling his other hand to defeat him. Izuku, that's because I didn't put in my full strength, he exclaimed with a smile. Bakugo, what? Izuku, dodging, I'll win this. Using his injured arm to deliver a direct blow to his head. Izuku, moving his body in such a way that the blow is strong enough to send Kachin crashing to the floor. Sayonara. Bakugo, getting into a normal stance. Very tired. Bakugo had been defeated, but Bakugo, I won't lose like this, with great effort pushing off and turning. Izuku, damn, I'm so tired. Wait, what am I saying? Ha, you seriously think I'll let you win? Izuku, I won't win just for myself, but to bring honor to others. I hope you remember this, Bakugo. Bakugo howitzer. Izuku, go beyond your limits. Izuku / Bakugo plus Ultra. Impact. Izuku gave his last breath, his last effort, and therefore his last attack. He did it with his good arm. And so, Izuku managed to land a blow on Bakugo's jaw, sending him crashing. And Bakugo unleashed his strongest attack. Izuku received it, never losing that smile. Everyone fixed their eyes on the smoke because thanks to it they couldn't see the winner, and when he left they saw him. The body of the green-haired boy standing on the stage with both arms badly injured, one raised as if he had thrown a punch, and with a big smile on his scratched and burned face. Midnight, shocked but quickly snapping out of her trance to grab the boy's wrist, and here we have the winner. Izuku, you could see the boy was unconscious in that pose. Midnight, wait, Midoriya is unconscious therefore. Present Mike, Bakugo Katsuki is the winner of the UA Sports Festival. Toshinori, that kid chose to lose standing rather than give up. Young Midoriya, you're someone to admire. Perhaps in some universe you would have been a good miraculous holder. After the two boys were taken to the infirmary, Recovery Girl scolded them, especially the freckled boy, for acting so wildly. They were able to go and receive their medals. And there you could see three boys. Shoto Todoroki, who easily defeated Shinsu, finished third. Midoriya, with bandages running from his fingertips almost to his shoulders, plus a bandage on his forehead and a big smile on his face, came in second place. And Bakugo, who was tied to a bed with straps and a muzzle, was cursing everyone out for his stupid victory, having come in first place. Midnight, and the person who will present the medals is Almight. I'm here. Midnight, that's right, the symbol of peace will be the one to hand out the medals. Almight, yes. Almight, young Todoroki, don't feel bad, you can always improve, you just have to put in the effort and you will be rewarded. Gives him a medal. Shoto, I answer seriously and a little annoyed. Almight, young Midoriya, it's a source of pride to see such a strong student from the general education course come this far. We all hope you'll continue to give your all and strive for excellence. He places the medal on him. Izuku, yes, thank you, Almight. He said excitedly but also uncomfortably, though the latter wasn't noticeable. Almight, young Bakugo, let's hope you remain just as skilled. Placing the last medal. Almight, well, that concludes the tournament. I hope it was exciting for you all, and remember, audience, Almight plus Ultra, keep trying. Audience, it was plus Ultra. Almight, I'm sorry. And so the sports festival concludes. Celebrating a victory, mourning a loss. 1 hour after the events of the previous chapter. We can see how a family of three were in a car, listening to their favorite songs at a moderate volume. They had arrived home, gone inside, and the adults saw something that worried them. Izuku was about to cry. Inko, what's wrong, son? Izuku. And nothing, it's just that seeing this medal reminds me that all the effort I've put in has been worth it, starting to shed a few tears, and I wouldn't have made it without your help. Making many waterfalls with his eyes. Inko, oh son, calm down, hugging him, we are so happy to be able to support you. We are so proud of the great young man you have become. Izuku, I know, that makes me cry even more. Inko, but why, my little one? Izuku, because remembering that makes me feel so happy that it makes me cry tears of joy, managing to calm down. Inko, okay baby, we'll always be there for you. Izuku, I know mom. Inko, yes son. Izuku, I love you very much. Inko, and I love you son, giving him a loving kiss on the forehead like a mother knows how. After that emotional scene, they went to the kitchen, to their surprise that Hisashi had already prepared everything. Hisashi, it's great that you're here. With a cheerful smile. Inko, Hisashi, you didn't have to worry. Hisashi, it's no problem, come on champ. Izuku, yes dad. Hisashi hugs his son with happiness and affection, I'm so proud of you son. Izuku, but I didn't win. Hisashi, so what? What matters to me is that you managed to show the world your courage and determination. That makes me even prouder of you, my little champion. Izuku, thank you very much, dad. Hisashi, I love you so much, Izu. Izuku, I love you too, dad. Thank you for helping me along with mom. Hisashi, you're welcome, son. They break apart from the hug. Hisashi, well, how about we eat? We made your favorite katsudon. Izuku, seriously. Inko, all for your victory. Izuku, the best day of my life. And so they spent their time having fun, playing until it was time to sleep. Izuku had a few days off, which he used to rest and let his arms recover. As punishment for hurting himself in that way, Recovery Girl didn't heal them with her quirk, but in an old-fashioned way. with ointments and creams, obviously using bandages to avoid any problems, and since the wounds were quite serious, extending from his hands to almost his shoulders, he had to wear bandages for a while. When it was time to go back to school, many recognized him, some even asked him for photos, and of course, out of kindness, he agreed. His teammates respected him, but Shinsu, on the other hand, always tried to keep his distance, whether out of embarrassment or simple anger at losing. He didn't want him around. And Midoriya didn't care about that. A few weeks had passed and something surprised him. Izuku UA finds itself in another controversy. A hero trainee from Class 1A died during their internship at the hands of the hero killer. Shocked, good heavens, those in the hero class really do have bad luck. It's going to sound bad, but it's a good thing they didn't accept me into that class. Izuku, wait, if UA gets involved in another controversy, they'll be forced to close it. Oh no. A few months passed and the end of semester exams had arrived. Midoriya wasn't too worried about it, but he wouldn't let his guard down, so he'd at least give his notebooks a quick once-over. All of his classmates were stressed about studying, and they weren't the only ones. The other classes were stressed about it too. So much so that during recess you could see kids studying with their notebooks while they ate. When Izuku saw that, he started thinking about how worried everyone else must be, so he decided to distance himself from the people so as not to distract them, at least until the exams were over. The day arrived, his colleagues were nervous. He for his part not so much, but he did have his insecurities. After all the exams were finished, their teacher said something to them. Teacher, okay guys, I'll tell you something, if you fail the exam you'll have to come to summer classes to improve your grades. Colleague, but wait, why didn't you tell us before? Professor, to avoid putting pressure on them and causing them to fail, now that the exams have been answered, there shouldn't be so much of a problem. And with that said, everyone could leave, but everyone was scared. Izuku wasn't as scared, but he was still a little worried. The next day. Teacher, it's good to inform you that the vast majority passed, although some narrowly escaped. They all calmed down, feeling as if a weight had been lifted from them. Teacher, I'm happy to tell you that your vacation starts next week, so have a great vacation, kids. You can go now. Everyone left peacefully. Izuku went straight home. Finally, he could relax properly, without training, just sleeping, watching anime, playing video games, and occasionally taking walks to think. Or so he thought, because a week later it happened. A new attack on UA, more specifically, on the camp, where the students of the heroic Class 1A and 1B were located. That day there was quite a bit of chaos. Many of the kids were left with problems from a supposed sleeping gas, a heroine from the Wild Wild Pussycats died, another member was seriously injured, and a third member of that group was kidnapped. A boy with a bird's head was left in a coma, and with him a boy with multiple arms and Endeavor's son were seriously injured. 2 girls were also on the verge of death at the hands of a member of the League of Villains. A child died. And a boy from that class was kidnapped. When Izuku found out everything that happened that day, he heard someone arrive. It sounded like a woman crying incessantly. Wait, that voice sounds like Aunt Mitsuki's, and isn't that other voice Uncle Masaru's? What was going on? Wanting to know what was happening without anyone noticing, he sat on the stairs to listen. Mitsuki, I can't believe they kidnapped my baby, screams while crying. Masaru, calm down, love. He tried unsuccessfully as he was also very affected, so much so that he was crying. Hisashi, don't worry, don't lose hope, hugging his best friend Masaru. Inko, Hisashi is right, the heroes must have already planned something. Hope is the only thing that gets lost, hugging her best friend Mitsuki. Hisashi, let's see what the UA principal says, okay. Izuku decided to stop listening, went up to his room in silence, lay down on his bed and started thinking. He didn't move, he didn't make the slightest sound, he just stared at the ceiling until he got tired and fell asleep. A few days had passed and many things happened, not very good things to say the least. All Might and other heroes went to rescue Bakugo, but what no one expected was that the young Yaoyorozu and a boy named Kirishima would also try to become heroes. Those young men tried to save their companion but died along with the kidnapped man. Some heroes who went to the rescue were seriously injured. And All Might was left on the brink of death after the battle against that villain called All for One. He won, but the symbol of peace had to withdraw. And as previously stated, if the UA were to run into further trouble, it would be forced to close, but that's a problem for later. We can see how 2 adults were embraced by the Valverde family. They were at the funeral of Katsuki Bakugo, that boy who, although he sinned by committing unethical acts, could have been redeemed and become a great hero. That won't be possible because the world decided to take him, because life isn't always fair. What will happen to the Midoriya family? Only time will tell. Getting ahead is difficult, but with help it's easier. A few hours after the funeral. Hisashi, come on Masaru, we can go out, hugging his friend. Masaru, how are you so sure? He asked, his voice trembling and his eyes red from crying. Hisashi, because I'll be here for you. I'll help you with everything you need, my friend. Masaru, thank you, really thank you. Hisashi breaking down and crying again. Mitsuki, my little Katsuki, he murmured while crying nonstop. Inko, there, Mitsuki let it out, she said while hugging her and rubbing her back to calm her down. I'm here for you. Izuku stayed in his room not because he minded having his uncles there but because he didn't know what to do. He wasn't prepared for this kind of thing. He didn't know what to say or do. He felt that if he tried anything, he might ruin it. He really wanted to help. He felt his heart ache more and more because he didn't know what to do to help them. He stayed like that for a while until he mustered up the courage to go to his uncle's house. He only had one thing on his mind, something that might be temporary but was still helpful. His uncle saw it, his parents did too. His parents saw in his eyes what he wanted to do and decided it was a good idea to let him do it. With slow and trembling steps, Izuku approached his uncles, gradually raising his arms. His uncles didn't wait any longer and quickly went to him, giving him a hug that was so strong, both physically and emotionally speaking. The adults' feelings were palpable just by watching them hug the child. Sadness, pain, helplessness, anguish, and fear of losing the boy they held in their arms. But for some reason, a sense of calm and tranquility began to settle over them, as if the child they had was warming their souls, tormented by their loss. Inko and Hisashi took advantage of their friends being busy and hugged them too. It was an adorable scene if we forget why it originated. They looked like a family, showing their love and support at its best. And that was it. Although they didn't share blood ties, they felt like one big family. And that was just the beginning, as the adults began to receive help from their friends, managing to make progress. It wouldn't be easy, but they wouldn't give up. Izuku's parents were happy to be able to help their friends. Not to forget the death of their son, but to be able to move forward with their lives and overcome the loss of their firstborn. Izuku visited his aunt and uncle every day. He could afford that luxury because he was on vacation and because UA had closed and he hadn't yet thought about entering any other school. Therefore, he always went to see his uncles and they were happy to see their nephew. With all that, a month had passed since the summer holidays had started and Izuku still hadn't entered any school. But that wouldn't be a problem. Izuku, waking up, I wonder what will happen today. He was going to continue wandering around his house without a care in the world until the doorbell rang. Izuku, who could it be? Postman, good mornings. Izuku, good mornings. Postman, I'll deliver your mail, handing over 5 letters. Izuku, thank you very much, have a good day. Postman, likewise. Izuku, let's see, electricity bill, water bill, internet bill, and a letter for Dad. Okay, I'll leave them here. Izuku, a letter for me, let's see. Izuku, what? Seeing what he was saying. The path of life I chose. Izuku, what? The letter read. Dear young Midoriya, we are contacting you with an offer. We have discovered that you no longer have an academy where you can finish your studies. We saw your determination at the sports festival, so we are asking you, would you like to have a scholarship and study here in Mexico? You don't have to answer now, you have until the end of August. Izuku, I got a scholarship to go to another country. Izuku, but what will happen to Mom and Dad, Aunt Mitsuki and Uncle Masar? I need to think about it. He was waiting for his parents who arrived after a while, but while he waited for them, he decided to relax and not think too much about the letter. She had breakfast and started cleaning the house. When she finished, she started exercising a little while listening to TV. The best thing to do was not to stress about the odds and wait for her parents to think about the idea and have a clear answer. When they arrived, Izuku showed them the letter, and they were quite surprised. Then they saw that there was a letter for Hisashi which came from his work. They gave him a promotion to go to another country. They started thinking, why go far away if we can go as a family? And then they remembered Masaru and Mitsuki, but they assumed Masaru would have the same news since he worked quite a bit like Hisashi. They started thinking that they should get away from Japan for a while, and this was the opportunity. They contacted Masaru, who informed them that he had received a promotion at work, and they told him to go to their house. When they arrived, Hisashi told them about the idea. They didn't think about it much and accepted because it was a good idea. They began preparations, packing and storing everything they felt was important. Izuku was thinking about everything that had happened in his life. Izuku, I've been through so much. It's amazing how being here felt like being on a great adventure. Izuku, now that I have this opportunity to have new experiences, I feel excited. Izuku, I've already made this decision. Izuku, the decision to live this new experience. With that, he went to the airport with his whole family with a single idea. Let's go for the new adventure. And so he went to study in Mexico to have a quiet life with his family. Okay, I'll say a few things. Okay. How do I start this? You know, I'm surprised by the fame this story has gained. I didn't think it would get 50 views and look at us now. You know, I feel like if I continue with this story, all I'll do is ruin it. The ending is perfect for me. At one point I thought about continuing this story with short chapters, but now I realize that it's not the same. That's the beauty of my story, that even with its simplicity and mistakes, it was able to be shared and is now finished with love. Both mine and yours, that's what I love most, that thanks to this story I got to meet beautiful people. And perhaps it will continue to be this way in the future, and I hope so. It's wonderful to know that people liked it. I'll keep writing stories. And I hope they do as well as this one. This is beautiful. I'm both scared and excited about what the future holds. I always say it, but seriously, I loved writing this story and I hope you enjoyed reading it. I have nothing more to say. I am Ayakumo. I wish you all the best, goodbye, and until next time. No manch banda D. No way guys, tomorrow's the entrance exam for high school, and I don't know if I'll pass D. I'm very nervous. I studied, but I feel like I'm not going to be able to pass. I feel uneasy, damn, I wish I could be little forever. As a child, the only thing you worry about is whether they're going to show the new episode of the cartoon. I've been having to deal with things, and I feel like this is going to be another tough year. I learned almost nothing in the online classes, and I don't know what to do. What's up guys, how are you? Are they also worried or something like that? Wish me luck because I feel like I'll need it a lot. That's all, I hope you're doing better than me, bye guys, hic update. Hey guys, what a September 15th. I've been in high school for a month now, and as surprising as it may seem, this is the coolest news I've received. I haven't learned a thing's deed. That's right, I'm still stuck in that limbo of just going into class but not listening and ignoring the teachers until they take attendance and the class ends, then moving on to the next one and doing the same thing until the end of the day. Since I got the afternoon schedule, it bothers me a bit. I feel like the only thing I'm getting from these classes is back and eye pain, dryness, frustration. I feel somewhat sad, and my eyesight will probably be affected. I used to be really excited about being in high school, but now I feel like I don't want to continue. Now all I want is to simply disappear to some town where I'm not being bothered by that. It might sound absurd and stupid, but you know what? I don't care, it's not going to change my opinion. Well, I just wanted to tell you, you might not care, but oh well.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.